joined on the line by the president of the Irish Freedom Party, Hermann Kelly. Hermann, good morning and welcome to 98 FM. Tell me why you contacted 98 FM on Friday and demanded a right of reply.
Because it was very unfair and very untrue in what he said. That doesn't surprise me because Sinn Féin have moved from being a nationalist, the Republican Party, to being a European Unionist party. In regards to they are happy that Ireland is subservient to Brussels. At the moment, Ireland, in matters of EU competence, EU law is superior to Irish law, the Irish Supreme Court, and the Irish Constitution. For us, we want a sovereign, independent Ireland where Irish people alone make their own laws for our own good. Irish Freedom Party are a patriotic party, and basically it's based on love. Love of our country, love of its people, of its culture and its heritage, and above all, of its national democracy. We need a national democracy so we can work in our own interest, so we can have the flourishing, the prosperity and the security of Irish people. We love our country and we want what's best for it. But in my estimation, Sinn Féin and all the far left parties, they're all part of the establishment. We can see it when it comes to Brexit, when it comes to the COVID lockdown. They're happy, they seem to be happy that Irish people lose not just their national democracy, but also that even now our natural freedoms to travel, to work, to meet our families, they're happy that this lockdown continues and that Irish people lose their natural freedoms as laid out in our Constitution. And you know what? This lockdown is going to bring massive economic consequences and poverty. It's going to engender poverty, loss of jobs and unemployment, and it's very, very dangerous. And
I'm going to come back and talk about the COVID-19 crisis in a second and get your views and your involvement in protests and so on. But one of the things that Senator Paul Gavin said the other day is, and he wasn't just talking about the Irish Freedom Party, he was referring to other groups as well, and he said they dress themselves up as civil libertarians, but they are nothing of the kind.
If you look at our Constitution and our policy, we clearly stand up for freedom of speech, freedom of association, of travel, and of religion.
Okay, now if you fully believe in freedom of speech, for example, why were you so put out by what Senator Paul Gavin had to say on Friday if you firmly believe in freedom of speech?
Well, things that are libelous or defamation, there are laws that people have a right to defend their good name, and you've led us on here to respond to that. I appreciate that. But we're all for free debate. We're not for defaming people. We're not for threatening violence with people. We want free debate is the foundation, and free speech is the foundation of a free society. And issues in our country brings not just heat, as we have here, but also light. And we come to better estimation of the truth, and that's why the free speech is very important in a democratic society.
Okay, one of the points that has been made about parties like your own is that you
No, not like my own. We have no association with people in general authority.
All right, well then I'll rephrase that. One of the claims made against your party specifically is that you would be a racist party, and I want to quote one tweet that was put up by your party back in August, and it says, and this is something that we covered widely at the time: imported youths, riots and house burning in Balbriggan. Share if you believe Ireland and our children deserve better than this future Clockwork Orange scenario. Is that not a very racist tweet?
Well, I'll say, Adrian, that I love all races. I've made very clear that and I've said repeatedly that there's only one human race, right? There's only one human race. So ideas of racial superiority aren't welcome. People go from black as black to white as white, a continuum in between.
Okay, but to even use the expression imported youths, right? Imported youths.
Well, you know what? Like Sinn Féin, they're happy to say about Palestine for the Palestinians. They're happy to say Pakistan for Pakistanis. Why is it wrong that Ireland saying Ireland is for Irish people? And this because Ireland is our homeland. We have no
before the COVID world, we travel all over the world.
If you can say Palestine for the Palestinians, but you can't say Ireland for the Irish, well, that's just hygienophobia and cultural self.
Okay, but using expressions like important use.
Yeah,
I want you to address that.
Right. Mass immigration has consequences. First problem, the Irish people weren't asked, they didn't give their consent. Uncontrolled immigration has large consequences because it pushes up the price of houses. It makes Irish people having to compete with people from around the world for jobs. Their wages are suppressed, and also their security where criminality, like every country in the world, every proper country in the world has borders, and they decide who comes into the country, the numbers of people who come in. Do they have qualifications? Can they contribute to society? Do they have a job? Well, do they have a criminal record? Irish population has increased by 1 million in the last 20 years. It is now government policy, the Ireland 2040 plan, that increases by an extra 1 million people.
I know, but again, I have to come back to the point of using expressions like describing young people as imported youths. It is very inflammatory.
And people not born here.
By the way, some of those kids in Balbriggan were born here.
Look, maybe their parents, I'm sure their parents weren't, but you know what? There are large consequences of mass immigration. Look, there's a study in Germany from the German government in Lower Saxony that showed that after 2015 there was a 10% increase in serious crime in Lower Saxony. They found that over 90% of that crime was carried out by newly arrived immigrants from Western Asia and Africa. So there are links between large-scale mass and quick immigration into a country and increase in crime.
Okay, you describe yourself as not being at all racist, but again, using inflammatory language like that, is that not poking at racists, at people who are racist?
No, the constitution of our party prohibits anybody with racist views joining the party, so we're very clear. There's one human race and all racism is forbidden in the party. You cannot sign up and be a member. But we love our country, we love our people, its culture, we want its flourishing, and we want the prosperity of Irish people. And democracy. Look, we had a large plantation in Ireland before in the 16th, 17th century, plantation of Ulster and Leinster. We are still, many centuries afterwards, we are still dealing with the consequences of people who came in from Britain and Scotland with a different culture, and even then with people who are similar to yourselves in many ways. We're still dealing with the massive problems of the plantation from that time. And Ireland, we should learn from other countries. We've been told we had presidents like Merkel, Sarkozy, David Cameron. They all said there 10 years ago that multiculturalism has been a massive problem, a massive mistake. It hasn't worked.
I know, but as we stand here in Ireland, we are where we are. The fear is, with using language like that, it creates a them and us scenario. And you said a moment ago, we're all humanity, so why create a them and us scenario?
Well, one, we're not. If Ireland needs you, if we need your skills, we need your youth. If Ireland needs these people and has they take them in with the criteria that they have a job, they are not drawing on the resources of the state and the taxpayer, but it depends on our need.
So do you believe in expressions like Ireland belongs to the Irish?
Of course I do.
So who are the Irish? Who are the Irish?
If Palestine belongs to the Palestinians, why shouldn't Ireland belong to the Irish?
But who are the Irish? Are the Irish second-generation Africans who were born in this country?
Well, I tell you what, there's also, I think it's 60, 70 million people of Irish heritage all around the world.
That wasn't the question I asked you. The question I asked you quite clearly was, are second generation Africans living in Ireland and born in Ireland, are they Irish?
Well, our candidate, Ben Scallon, in Dublin South there during the general election, his mother is Jamaican. I have no problem that
so is yes the answer to my question then?
They're Irish. If they come in and integrate, and their primary loyalty is to Ireland.
Cameron, before I let you go, I want to come back to the whole COVID-19 thing, and we've seen over recent months protests taking place regularly. There was one on Saturday. I know you had nothing to do with it, but a protest that attracts on both sides very nasty people, and we saw violence break out. We saw 2 arrests on Saturday, but we have seen how these protests have attracted some very sinister elements. Why have you been involved in protests which flout the law in terms of, at present, it is an offence to organise an outdoor gathering of 15 plus people? Why have you been involved in some of these protests?
Well, the World Health Organization came out last week, and it made clear that lockdowns are counterproductive, they're unnecessary. Why? Because they engender poverty and hardship, and it also, in our regard, it undermines the natural freedoms to travel to work and associate that people have. Now, if you look at the facts in April, as percentage of number of deaths per day on average was 38.7. In September, it's 0.9 deaths per day. So as that TD McNamara said there in the COVID committee, he's the chairman, there has been a hysterical overreaction to COVID. There's no need for this lockdown. It takes away our natural freedoms to work and to travel and to associate.
Okay, so do you believe that as a state we should allow this virus to run rampant and basically lead to herd immunity? Is that what you're advocating?
Well, what has transpired, you basically have a control in Sweden where they didn't have a lockdown, and the outcomes in Sweden are much better than anywhere else. And actually the country which had the tightest lockdown, Peru, has the worst outcomes. And we can see where they had a very tight lockdown, for instance, in New York. The lockdown, look, COVID is coming, right? We have to look at... It's not coming, it's here already. Which the state didn't do. The actions of and it should be investigated. But there has been a hysterical, the monomania. Look, people are dying every day with preventable diseases like cancer, which are not being tested. Suicides are on the rise. People are still dying with heart disease. There's going to be increased poverty. And all we are saying is that this COVID monomania has got to stop.
Okay, but let me just deal with one thing that has been the focus of many of the protests over recent weeks. A simple issue like being asked to wear a mask, which prevents, if you have COVID-19, it prevents you spreading it to others. What is the big deal with being asked to wear a mask? It's not a permanent thing. It's not going to be forever, we hope. What difficulty is there with that?
Well, one, if people want to go around with a mask on all day, well, good on them, happy days. We are against the mandatory making a mask.
But let me ask you, do you wear a mask when you're out?
I don't know. No, I think it's unnecessary.
Okay, so if you walk into a supermarket...
It is unnecessary.
Okay, if you walk into a supermarket and somebody on the door of the supermarket says, "Sorry sir, would you put on a face mask?" what do you say?
Well, it happened to me recently. I was stopped going in and the guy stopped me and I said, "No problem." I just went to another supermarket which you can use without wearing a mask. Now, I'm happy if people want to wear a mask, but I just believe, one, the mandatory nature of this all. And anyway, look at the big scheme is that the Irish government are taking away our natural rights, as laid out in the Constitution, and that is against our rights. And you said about you hope it's only temporary. Yes, you hope it's only temporary. But if the state can take away our natural rights against the Constitution, well, we don't know where it's going to end up. So we must protest to take back our natural freedoms. And anyway, it's a travel and go to work. This is going to lead to an incredible meltdown in the economy, and it's going to engender poverty, and with poverty comes loss of life. Now, if you talk about cancer, suicide, heart disease, they're all coming. They haven't disappeared.
Hermann Kelly, President of the Irish Freedom Party, thank you very much, Lee, for talking to us on 98 FM.